Ooh, 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 ooh. And we're back reacting to another series. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that series is, as we said in our last Heart Stopper reaction, going to be another Netflix original, Never Have I Ever by Mindy Kaling.
Help us all, because babe, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Okay,
You know, okay, no,
I
he's
need,
saying something. He's
I
saying
need
something.
to say something. South Asian representation in this show. A lot of people have problems with it. I am obsessed with it. Because a lot of the criticisms of the show that I've seen, that A is either too stereotypical or that she's batshit crazy, the main character being batshit crazy, and people are mad about both things. I'm like, first of all, those two ideologies do not match each other. Having a batshit crazy brown woman, nothing we've seen before. At least not here. And a lot of people talk about how Mindy Kaling's characters are always the same, and I'll give them that. But you want to know who else's characters are always the same? Every writer in America. Every single one of their fucking characters in every sitcom is the same. Jake Peralta is Jim Halpert. And that's
I
also fucking
see.
all those fucking white men in the writers' room playing the same exact fucking character. So why is that a problem when a brown woman does it? And it's not even like her characters are doing anything explicitly harmful. But also, people often compare Kelly from The Office to Mindy Lahiri, to Devi Vishwakumar. Those characters are, yes, they're both bubbly personalities. Actually, they're not both bubbly personalities. They have similarities, but they're also very different characters. And I feel like people are just don't like Mindy Kaling. And yes, her characters always date white men, but we have to remember that these are Mindy Kaling's experiences. And she is a girl who grew up in a predominantly white suburb in Boston. She was not growing up around brown culture. That's why all of her characters aren't necessarily intact with their culture. While they do interact with it, their stories are not revolving around their culture like other brown characters. Like how Miss Marvel grew up in a South Asian neighborhood in Jersey. That gives her more context to her culture, as opposed to Davy, who grows up in a white neighborhood. Those are all things taken into consideration. Also, I saw people getting mad that Miss Marvel has included things about partition, whereas Never Have I Ever doesn't. I'd like to remind you that people in South India, like Davy's family, do not have scars from partition as big as those from Pakistan, North India, and Bangladesh. So yeah, all those things need to be contextualized to people who do not see themselves in certain characters. You're not going to see yourself in every brown character, but other people are going to see themselves in their brown characters. That is why I avoid shitting on brown people doing things. Yeah.
And I think more than that, it's we don't expect white people to necessarily or like white characters to be repping white culture. We shouldn't expect that of Indian people either, right? Like if there is a brown person in a show, it's not their responsibility to rep brown culture. They're just a character, you know? Like maybe they do have interactions with their culture, maybe they don't, but that's not the primary purpose of that character's role in this series, right? Davy's just a 15, 16, 12-year-old, whatever the hell old she
15,
is.
16.
15, 16. She's a 15-year-old just doing her thing. You know, this is her life. It's not representative of every brown person. It's not maybe even representative of any brown people. It's just her, right?
It is
And
representative of brown people, though.
no. I'm saying it doesn't have
I
to be.
know, I
Like
know.
as a
I'm just,
brown character, it's not her responsibility to like shine a light on brown people everywhere. That's all.
yeah. But yeah, and I feel like people don't understand that not every person is so intact with their culture, where their culture is such a primal thing in their being. And there's nothing wrong with being that. Like Daisy never, like throughout the show, I'm gonna spoil something. She never really shits on her culture. There is small things where she is prone to stereotypes because she didn't grow up around brown people, and her parents are trying to assimilate her to the West, as most immigrant parents do or try to do. So she only has cultural context through A, all the old people that she meets at temple, and B, all the friggin' things that she sees on TV. And yeah.
And that of course is, part of it, right? Like you and I have had very different experiences because we've grown up in a very brown part of this white country that we live in.
Mhm.
She doesn't have that experience. She doesn't have that. And like, that's not nothing to shit on either because you don't have to inherently be an Indian person with all the Indian facets in you to identify yourself as a person of that culture, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. And that being said, I actually really do like this show.
Okay, we'll
I
see.
feel I feel like it has like it's very good, and I feel like it is like really up to par with the Mindy Project, with them being Mindy Kaling's other big show.
We'll see. Personally, I watched like point 0.5 of an episode of the Mindy Project because I was forced to by Exhibit A right here.
I didn't force you to watch the Mindy Project. I
It
never
was
forced you
like
to watch the
you,
Mindy
and
Project.
we watched it in a group setting because you were like, "Oh, it's an amazing show," and so
I
we
never
watched it.
forced you to watch the
I
Mindy
swear,
Project.
I watched her go out with some like white doctor and like whatever. I don't know.
What the fuck? I never forced you to watch the Mindy Project.
I'm just like you forced me to watch the whole thing, but you were like, "Sit down, I must show you this episode or this part of the episode or something." You were trying. You and one of our
The
other
only
friends.
the only thing that I have ever been like, I need you to watch this is the drugs episode of because that was fucking hilarious. That's the only thing
That's
I've
the one.
ever.
That's yeah, that's the thing. You didn't make me watch the whole series, just like that
I
one
know,
episode.
I know. The only time I ever made you watch like one episode of thing, not beginning from the beginning, where I was gonna be like, you need to watch this, was the drugs episode of which is not the Mindy Project.
Oh,
Remember those drag
no, I
queens?
swear it was you and another mutual friend. We were sitting there, we were on a Discord call, and you were like, we have to watch it. It was like sometime last year. I don't know. Either
No.
way, I watched her go out with like some doctor or something, and like one of a white doctor, maybe a brown doctor, but they felt the same. My
I don't know
point
what you're talking
being,
about. I remember you.
my point being that I have watched like half an episode of the Mindy Project, and I didn't enjoy it. So
What
if
about The
there's,
Office?
I don't particularly enjoy The Office.
You
Oh my
don't enjoy
God.
The Office?
I'm gonna get called out for this so bad.
People that's wrong. People don't like The Office anymore. It's a trend. It's like how everyone switched up on Friends.
Yeah. No, it wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not saying I didn't think that there was merit to the show, but it just wasn't something I was gonna sit down and watch like all 8 seasons of or whatever. I don't know. Just wasn't my thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah.
And this
Okay.
is the first episode of Never Have I Ever, Pillow, or pilot. Yeah. Um,
Oh, that's what you were saying. I didn't know what you were saying before. Okay, we're fine. We're
okay.
fine.
Are you ready?
Yes.
After our big discussion about the intricacies of brown representation, let's go.
1. I'd like to be invited to a party with alcohol and hard drugs. I'm not gonna do them. I just like the opportunity to say, no cocaine for me, thanks. I'm good.
That's so
2,
me.
I'd
That's
love
so
for my
me.
uncle to out. I know it's an Indian thing, but not some nerd from one of my AP classes. Like a guy from sports team.
I relate to that.
He can be dumb.
I don't. I didn't want
Except
one in high school, but
I
like,
did
yeah.
want a nerd for my
Rock me all
AP
night long.
classes.
This is so unnecessary. Why do we care?
This is the narrator.
No, I know, but why do we care?
Because no one knows who John McEnroe
It'll
is.
make sense later, I promise.
I know who
Her
John
story
McEnroe
starts when her
is.
parents,
Well,
Nalini
good.
and Mohan,
Just because Devi is confined to a wheelchair does not make her any less human. As far as we know, it's not contagious.
but she
Who
didn't have to go
implied
through it
this?
alone. Her two best friends took the situation in stride.
Out
Well,
of pocket,
maybe
obsessed
not in
with this
stride,
show.
but definitely in character. But come on, look at this kid's jawline.
Very weird. Can I
Mhm.
just say that the concept of them using like an old male white male voice to narrate the show is the most hilarious thing because
Yes! Thank you! John McEnroe is hilarious in this
it's
show.
it's not even like he could honestly be saying anything, but him commenting on like Paxton's, and I'm sorry we've frozen at this particular point. Sorry.
It's
But
Paxton's junk, because you're probably not going to see it because there's the screen saying discussion on it. But yeah, that's what we frozen in on.
oh my
his
goodness.
crotch.
Yeah, I currently paused at like Paxton walking away and we're zoomed into on his lower half.
On his
And
swimsuit.
on his like swimsuit lower half. But anyway, my point being that because these are normal things that Devi would be thinking and saying that, oh, he's the hottest dude at high school. And normally if we had a narrator saying this for us, no big deal. But because it's like this old white dude saying it, it just sounds so creepy, which highlights that it is.
It's like that. It kind of reminds me of that Tumblr text post about how like I want like a teen, like a drama of like a girl in 5th grade doing something with the narrator Samuel L. Jackson, like being like, this motherfucking Susie cut me off in the bake sale. I want it because that's drama. It adds something comedic to it, and I really like.
Yeah. 100%. It gives it an extra layer of A, comedy, and B, like highlighting exactly why this is kind of slightly creepy, but we're letting it go because it's Hollywood.
And how like weird like kids are or teenagers are, how we see those things as so big, but like it's weird, it's creepy, it's meh.
Yeah, and it's a little bit too normalized, and like this kind of highlights why it maybe shouldn't be. But yeah, it's nice. It's funny. It's just funny.
This is her internal monologue. She's allowed to think things.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
Just like that, she could walk again.
Aww.
So today, Devi returns
I
to high
love
school.
the mom.
Can she show
Melody,
her old identity
that bitch.
as the power?
To the priest, I don't have the time to go to Rancho Cucamonga today.
Okay, pause. Because I saw some people who are not Hindu talking about how that's weird and like that's just weird thing in brown culture. But apparently that is a real thing in Hinduism where you pray over your books and like that you can't let things touch the floor or your feet. But some people are saying that's a weird like thing. But I feel like it's an interesting nod to Hinduism.
Even if it's something that like even if it's something that's a little extra, I think that what I understand about Hinduism is that pretty much anything can be blessed. Like it doesn't mean that everyone's doing it, but like if it's important to you, go get it blessed.
And it makes sense for them to bless her chemistry textbook. Because they obviously want her to get good grades.
It's a very like Hinduism isn't very like one note in that way. It's very kind of open to what you need in your life and what is important to you, which I like.
It's good. Okay, it's paused. I just need to plug my laptop.
Oh, okay. So when he needs to do it, he needs to do it, it's no big deal. It's no big deal when he needs to do it. Okay.
It's not a big deal when you need to do it either. It's just that when you need to do it, you have to like get up and cause an entire destruction.
As Devi walked into school for the first time, it was impossible.
I cannot imagine she gains this much attention.
But it didn't matter.
If the girl was suddenly in a wheelchair and then she comes back, she's not in a wheelchair, you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
No, I have to check it out.
Nerds.
Fair enough.
Sophomore year is gonna be art. Would a not cool person wear one dangly earring?
No, they wouldn't. Only cool kids do that, babe.
Earring on the personalities. I guess we'll just move on to step 2 and get boyfriends.
She made a checklist for how to be cool. Does she not inherently understand that that is uncool?
Abiola, you get Alex.
Cognitive dissonance.
Eleanor, you are gonna date Boris Koslov.
I would never date someone named Boris.
Russian exchange
Boris. Oh my god, he's eating a fucking onion.
Yeah, he's international. Jonah Sharp.
Oh my god, Tiffany. Where did you get that top?
You're going out for the gay dude?
Jonah Sharp is gay. But technically, he's not out yet, and he's pretty popular. So,
you know what?
So I can springboard
Yes, babe, run the system.
You know yourself.
This disgusted reaction belongs to Ben Gross.
His name is Ben
Because
Gross.
Devi and her friends were
Slavery.
As opposed to other history class. As opposed to other history classes that don't cover the Holocaust and slavery.
Wait a second. This is giving me our high school teacher like calling us out by nationality, being like, where are my Sri Lankans at? Where are my North Indians at?
Okay.
This is such an accurate high school teacher depiction. I'm sorry.
It's also the vibe of like someone of like the teacher being like, you have any thoughts about 9/11? Or like you know about partition, right? Remember?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Or when that one teacher asked our friend like about India, but she was Bangladeshi, so yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, that was like there was the teacher that used to ask. Well, didn't seem to understand that Bangladesh was a country, so would either misnationalize our friend, despite being told several times, that she was Bangladeshi would be like Sri Lankan or Indian, and then continue being like, "Oh, so your hometown in India was where again?" She's like, "Sir, it was Bangladesh." Actually, so funny. Honestly, though, I
He
was
never
gonna say
really
something.
did bang that dish.
Ew. We were minors.
No,
What?
I was more referring to like hit that nail on the head. Like he
Oh,
never really
okay.
banged that dish.
Okay. Sure. That's not the context you've used that bang that desk
In the
for.
past, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't fault me for that. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that even though it's slightly problematic, this is a very accurate depiction of a white male high school teacher trying to interact with his not so white, not so male students.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pause now.
Thanks to Paxton's extreme apathy towards
yummy.
school, he was forced to retake this class,
Paxton.
which he failed as a sophomore. Maybe this year was looking up after all.
Audibly.
Right, Davey, this is
Audibly.
some really.
Which I find pretty admirable.
Jesus!
So,
I love that.
set aside-
No, we call you the UN because you're unfuckable nerds.
Less racist, at least.
Less racist, more misogynistic.
I don't think there was misogyny in that.
To demean women by their fuckability, it is.
True.
Hey, I am not going to tell you I think you're sexy. I will tell you that kid sucks and you should ignore him.
Why can't you tell her she thinks she's sexy?
Because that's a child.
Yeah, but this is a confidential room.
It's a grief journal. Sometimes the pain we feel is too hard to say out loud. This way, you don't actually have to
Wait,
say
but the
it.
dad died a
And
year
if
ago.
this
Why are
doesn't
they
work,
just trying
You
this?
could always prescribe me some Clonopin.
Klonopin is for anxiety, is it not?
She might be
Baby,
anxious.
how
You
was
don't
your
know her
first day
life.
at school?
I'll be honest.
Yes, his name is Prashant. He's an engineer. Isn't that fantastic?
That's not so
Kamala was
bad.
expected to have an arranged marriage
Prashant
after she
sounds
finished her studies
South
abroad,
Indian.
but she felt less than enthusiastic
Yeah, they're South
about this
Indian.
idea.
Oh, right,
That's
fair enough.
wonderful. You know what? I'm just too jealous to eat with you right now.
I think she's aware of these emotions. She doesn't, you know what? You know what I'm enjoying about Devi? She's not blaming Kamala for her reactions towards Kamala. She's like acutely aware that it's her own issue.
Yeah, she is jealous.
Come, sit down. I want to show you something.
Okay? Totally weird. Also, it's the middle of the night. She's still in the same clothes she wore to school. Belt on. I take the belt off as soon as I get home.
He is my favorite player. Of
She's
all
on
time.
TV. She has to look
Hey, look
good.
at that! It me! I told you
Hey,
it all
pajamas,
makes
babe.
sense.
Doesn't let anyone push him
Yeah,
around.
he was also kind of a dick.
Giving it back to that umpire. He's a firecracker. Just
John
like you.
McEnroe is, well, yeah.
What nonsense. I'm looking at you right now. You're the most beautiful girl in the world.
Also, it's a parent's obligation to say that to their kid, but fine.
When a boy at school said that.
When do you think John McEnroe would let that umpire tell him that he's not beautiful?
I don't
No,
think John
he would
McEnroe had
stand
that
up
pretty
for
high up
himself.
on his priorities, but okay.
So I should be.
Well, if an umpire called you ugly, you'd be pissed. Even if there was other
Spirit,
things.
little one. You stand up for yourself, just like him.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
Yeah, John McEnroe was not the person you aspire to be. He's also
might be.
broke. He's also broke now, if I'm correct, which is why he has to resort to doing things like this.
Wait,
He seems to be having
What are you
fun
doing?
on his Instagram.
This is my living room.
Oh my god, just try it. Journaling is
So the
honestly
next
so
morning, Devi
therapeutic.
took her dad.
Get a load of sexy flapper girl. My grandmother died. when I was-
I love this.
Okay.
I
let's
love
just
the
stick to
outfit,
plan.
but girl, that's
What's our goal
not
for today?
sexy.
To make conversation.
Not for
Right,
this
we're talking to the
situation.
boys. Before you know it, we'll all be boinking at prom. Okay.
If you are saying the word boinking instead of sex, you are most certainly not ready for it.
Why, Mr. Feminist? Or is it to watch a bunch of teenage boobs bounce around?
Both can be true.
Feel like he's a beautiful sport.
Busted, you're a perv.
And what are you laughing at, Aaron Brockovich? Is that a skirt or a headband? You know, get your acts together, or I will
It can be
personally
both.
call all the...
I didn't want to upstage you while you were trying to get a boyfriend of your own. I can't believe you didn't tell me and
I'm
Fabiola.
truly and honestly dying. It's fine.
Fabiola knows.
You're lying to your mother? And then bringing shame on an innocent bird?
There was no
me
bird,
alone.
Melanie. The bird was alive. running away.
She gonna get hit by a car like this.
I think she wants to be hit by a car at this point.
Wait, why do you look hot?
She always looks hot. I'm sorry. I've
Yes,
seen
I
her.
do.
She always
And
looks
don't
hot.
look so shocked. I do have a life outside of being your therapist.
Not right now, you don't. I need your help.
This is so entitled.
Okay. What's going on?
Eleanor has a secret boyfriend that her and Fabiola have been keeping from me because they thought I was unhinged and would have a nervous breakdown.
And instead,
Which
you
seems
are
like a lot.
unhinged and had a nervous
I'm losing
breakdown.
it, Doc. I think I know what I need to do.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks. She wants to have sex, doesn't
I
she?
got a hot date.
I'm into you. Like,
Bold.
I could name every class you've had for the last
This is
2
not something
years,
I'd be able to do when I was 15.
Bold.
but I won't do that. Having sex with me?
Hun, this is not... Actually,
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
Who am I to be
I'm
talking?
such an
What
idiot.
do I
I'm
know
so
about
sorry.
this?
I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
What? That actually worked?
It generally will.
Just
I
sex, right?
found that for
Just
guys, straight
They'll say
guys,
yes.
it'll generally work.
She'll say yes.
Wow. Okay. Twist. This is surprising.
Shouldn't be, babe.
Looking forward to
You are
it.
not
We'll
an
circle
ugly
back
human
about it.
being.
She's not ugly, but she's an unfuckable nerd.
I don't think it's that. She's just got a very intense personality.
Okay, we did it. We did it.
Mhm.
Watch the first episode. Opinions, thoughts, reactions.
I'm not so far seeing any issues. I don't know that this would be a show I would continue watching if I was just watching it on my own. Just because I don't know that this is a show that I would enjoy. But in terms of like representation or writing, so far I'm not seeing any glaring issues. I also want to say that generally my bar for what an issue is a little higher. Like I tend to like glaze over little things, so it's possible there may be an issue there that I just don't see. But also I think Devi is really fucking annoying character, but that's got nothing to do with her being brown.
Devi does no wrong. She is iconic. She is the girl
No.
boss.
She doesn't seem to be able, like, she's hell-bent on changing her friends' personalities when
Mhm.
that's not the point. If you want to, like, adjust yourself, fine, do what you gotta do. But it's not your place to be like, oh, you don't dress sexy, change that. Or you don't, you're not cool, change that, whatever it is, right? Like, the way that she speaks to Fabiola makes me want to smack her.
Mhm.
Like, actually physically hurt her, because who are you to tell another person how to dress? But more than that, I think she obviously she's an intense person who like seems to think that being extra is what's going to get her where she wants to be, which is obviously not true because it makes her more unlikable than she already is. But yeah, other than that, I'm okay. Nalini is a little oblivious. Nalini, I don't know if I'm
Melanie.
Nalini. I've lost my Indian accent over the years that I've been in Canada. Nalini is an extremely oblivious parent, which is not what I would expect of a stereotypical brown character. Because she seems to be, in other aspects, she seems to be a stereotypical brown mom. With the books have been blessed, and the we don't say dick in this household, and the like no.
Yeah, but also she is also mourning the loss of her husband.
True.
That's a dynamic to
Right,
take notice of.
because like she's overlooking the fact that Devi is wearing like a mini skirt to school plus like 4-inch heels, which are not things my mom would have allowed me. And my mom, while not a stereotypical brown parent, is a brown parent. Just basic things like that. She seems to be fairly oblivious. Like just letting your daughter leave the house
Mhm.
late at night, not a thing a brown parent generally lets their kid do. But fine.
Mhm.
I think beyond that, I'm really, really enjoying John McEnroe. I think he's my favorite part of this so far.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
John McEnroe is my favorite part. But other than that, I think those are all my thoughts.
Yeah.
You?
And I don't really have any thoughts on this episode particularly.
Alrighty.
And that was the first episode of Never Have Ever, episode 1, season 1, pilot. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!